divas in China, and her stories are probably lighter. And I believe that's a good thing, because if we have too heavy stories, that would kind of be too much. All right, so let's get to this pop singer. All right. She was born in Shenyang, China, on November 27, 1967.
Okay.
So right off the bat, two huge clues.
Really?
She is in her 50s, and also she's from northeast China.
Dongbei, all right.
Yeah, Dongbei. And that's a big clue because she speaks with a very thick Dongbei accent.
Okay.
So that should narrow things down considerably.
All right.
Given that you're not Chinese, that's probably not helping much.
Not that much.
Anyway, most family members of hers were actually not from a musical background. They were mostly in the medical field. In particular, her father is a very famous doctor. Her sister is also quite famous, but that's mainly because the sister is this singer's agent.
There you go. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, that's according to Sina News.
All right.
And then moving on to the second clue. This singer has always loved singing, and she joined a prominent hit singing group in Liaoning province in 1979.
All right.
And as she grew older, she joined a singing group for adults, but mostly she did background vocals.
All right.
And one time, a member of that group caught a bad cold and could not perform on stage. And this singer filled in at the last minute. Yeah. And she did a fantastic job. And from then
It took
on,
her job.
Yeah, she became a lead singer instead of a background singer.
Ooh, I bet that singer was mad. It was just like, oh, why did I have to get sick?
Yeah, I love stories like this. It just goes to show that opportunities, wait for people who get prepared.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's a good point, because it's not like if this backup singer wasn't prepared and wasn't doing the hard work behind the scenes, then she probably would have just sounded just like the rest of the singers, and then as soon as that other singer recovered, then she would have kind of disappeared into oblivion again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so that's not to say luck isn't important. It is important, but at the same time, you have to get ready.
Yeah.
That's the main message here.
That's right.
Yeah. So this is from Tencent News. And moving on to the third clue. She participated in a singing competition back in 1988 and got noticed by Gu Jianfen. And Gu Jianfen is one of the biggest names in the music industry here in China. She is best known as a composer, and she has written so many mega hits over the decades. But she is much more than just a composer. She is also a renowned music teacher, and she was impressed by this particular singer's performance at that same competition. So she said, I'm going to take you in. I like you. And this is worth mentioning because at the time she had another student, and that student was also a household name in terms of popularity. So you can say that this teacher is almost like a diva.
The diva incubator.
Incubator, exactly. So this is from Phoenix News.
All right.
And moving on to the next clue. This singer is not known for being super sporty, but somehow she's always linked to sports. She performed at a fundraising concert for the Asian Games in 1990, and that was the very first time China hosted a grand international sporting event. 1990, so more than 30 years ago. And naturally, she got a lot of exposure because of that, doing the song for the Asian Games, also participating in the fundraising concert. And she also sang the theme song for the first ever women's football world tournament. That was in Guangzhou. Okay. And she sang the theme song for that event.
Oh, that sounds like a really big clue.
But somehow that song was not that famous, so I can give you the title here. It's called Embracing Tomorrow. So unless you're a hardcore soccer fan, you probably don't remember the song.
Most Americans, we don't watch a lot of soccer. So.
Yeah, right. But years later, in 2008, we all know the Beijing Olympics, right? Beijing Olympic Games. And she sang in this song called Beijing Welcomes You. I can tell you this song because that song was sung by a whole bunch of stars, and she was just one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a We Are the World
type of song.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And
still in the dark here, but all right.
Still in the dark. Okay, that's all right. No worries. Like I already mentioned, she is from northeast China, right?
Yeah.
Although she's 100% from the Chinese mainland, she actually signed a contract with a record label in Taiwan first and officially released her debut album there.
Oh, wow.
It's called Thinking of You Day and Night. So that's a big clue.
Okay.
Because her first album was a big success, but it was not a career-defining success.